think 40 years on from Tracy, Darwin's had an opportunity of rebuilding itself, both architecturally but also socially and culturally, where Darwin's had the unfortunate opportunity of rebuilding itself twice, both with the bombing of Darwin but also Cyclone Tracy. And I think it's important to commemorate it. I mean, let's not forget 66 people lost their lives in Cyclone Tracy, and for those families and friends there's obviously a lot of pain and suffering around. So of course you can understand why people don't want to celebrate Cyclone Tracy, but I think it's important that we commemorate and have it in the back of our minds the trial and adversity and tragedy that's occurred in our landscape locally in Darwin, in the top end, so that we can take learnings from that, because it does become a part of the history of the nation, the history of the top end. It's important that that's passed on. It's important for our kids to learn about that, because if we don't acknowledge it, be aware of it and learn from it, it's very hard to adapt in the future. But we're also mindful that it's not a celebration of 40 years anniversary, but it's a commemoration, because there has been a lot of pain and suffering. But at the same time, we now have this fantastic landscape in this beautiful city that we call Darwin, as a result of the rebuilding efforts of those 10 to 30,000 people who undertook the rebuilding of Darwin.
There are certainly sections of the survivors of Cyclone Tracy who do not want to talk about the event, who do not want to engage in any sort of commemoration or marking of the event. They just wish it hadn't happened. And we can recognise that, and that's why there's such a wide range of events that are happening, so that people can choose to actually commemorate the event in the way that they want to. Or they can choose to opt out and not do any effort.
I went back about 3 weeks later for the Board of Inquiry, and on arrival in Darwin, the silence was almost deafening, to coin a phrase. Apart from the devastation, no leaves on trees, no noise, no wildlife, and that was, once cars passed, it was just very silent.
You won't see green ants for at least 5 or 6 years again. And yeah, that's one of the things we noticed pretty much, is that it took a long time for the green ants to come back to Darwin.
I suppose positive thing was people really bonded together, really got that community spirit, everybody helped each other. And also around Australia there was a lot of people that donated a lot of things, people opened their homes to a lot of families. I went down to Adelaide for a couple of months after the cyclone, and people, if they heard you were from Darwin and went through the cyclone, they were really happy to give you clothes and things and help you out. So I think that was a really positive thing, was the goodwill and support from people all around Australia.
Yeah, well, when they was calling for volunteers to go around for driving on the clean-up and that, well, I'm a plant operator, so I thought, I'll front up and get a job on a loader somewhere, or a truck or something, to start cleaning up the place, because I didn't want to leave here, because I had a block down at Howard Springs and a bit of gear laying around the place. And anyhow, I went in to sign up for to get a start on the clean-up, and a mate of mine was with me. He had his left arm in plaster, I had my right arm in plaster, and they took one look at us and they said, "You get on the next plane and get out." And I thought, well, no, I'm not going anywhere. So I walked out the old F100 I had there, the toolbox and back, and I got out the hacksaw. I said to Mickey, I said, "Here, cut this bloody plaster off my arm." So I sawed through it and threw the plaster away. I said, "Give us your arm here." So I got the hacksaw and cut the plaster off his arm. So of course we got no plaster on, so I walked in the office next door and said, "Oh, we want to sign up." "Yeah, no worries, start here." So I think we started next morning.